This is the future.
The next update before the big content drop, which is the new war, will be handed to Warframe players this November 11th. Remember my last video about this update? Well, that didn't age well, and now you can slap me in the comment section. The only thing that I got right was the former and mastery rank changes. We will not be getting crossplay and cross-save, nor Warframe mobiles before the new war update. Instead, we will be getting more quality of life improvements for the game. First off, they will apply changes to the new player experience in the game. Digital Extremes will add the Tenno guide that adds a new user interface notification when inside the orbiter. This will help those new players who felt lost once they finish War's prize, and this persistent reminder will guide new Tenno to their next steps. This new feature will be auto-enabled on login, but can be disabled at any time in the menus under Options, then Interface, and lastly press the Show Tenno Guide. There's also the Heat Sword changes. Digital Extremes will be changing the crafting requirement for the Heat Sword to require a neurode rather than neural sensor. Originally, this was meant to incentivize players to explore new nodes, but is outdated in the current state of the game. This change is smaller than most, but meaningful to new players looking to upgrade their melee early on. Along with these changes is the AMP crafting requirements reduction, and the Cornbot acquisition changes. Necramechs have started to play a vital role within the system, from being part of the Railjack experience to a great tool in our open worlds. While their firepower provides an advantage, the time and resource investment required to obtain one has shown to be a deterrent to newer players. Enemy Cornbots now have a 50% chance to drop a Cornbot part across the board, evenly distributed. The battle required for a newer player to defeat an enemy Cornbot is neither easy nor quick. This increased chance of getting a Cornbot part helps to reduce the time investment needed to gather the mandatory parts to build your first Cornbot. Additionally, they have halved most of the mining and fishing part costs for crafting the Void Rig, as this is the first Necramech players see in the Heart of Deimos quest, so we want to make acquiring it a little easier. The Howl of Q-Brow quest will also see some changes, along with a couple of things which will make the new player experience accommodating, that it doesn't feel like you are a lost ninja in the outer space. Next, we have the Dojo quality of life changes. Digital Extremes will be adding a basic and advanced mode to the Dojo decorating mechanic. Basic mode only offers essential tools: place, move, remove, duplicate, rotate, and scale, while advanced mode houses all the customization-focused tools decorators already know and use expertly. And of course, the mastery rank and former change. The changes are quite simple. If a mastery rank 30 player uses a former, they won't have to re-unlock any abilities, or their ranks, on a given item. Yes, they'll still need to level the gear itself to apply another former, but the abilities are no longer locked depending on your mastery rank. This achieves our goal of keeping former essential to build customization but allowing players with higher mastery ranks a more convenient experience. These were not discussed eagerly during the reveal of what's coming on the November 11th update, but some Warframes will be receiving new augments. 2 for the Broken Warframe, and 1 each for Lavos and Trinity. For Lavos, it's an augment for his Ophidian Bite ability. This augment allows Lavos to reduce the cooldown of all abilities by seconds for hitting a cluster of enemies, while also adding an ability range buff for the Ophidian Bite ability. The number of seconds it reduced for the Warframe abilities were not mentioned, as well as the exact number of enemies needed to be hit by the ability. But this augment does work wonders with Lavos, especially with the nuke and tank setup I have for him. I know some of you will say that this augment is redundant since Lavos can reduce the cooldown by just casting his 4th ability. However, that ability also has a cooldown itself. Ophidian Bite has a shorter cooldown compared to Transmutation Probe, and just think of this, you have 2 abilities that can reduce cooldown. Now, I don't know the interaction yet of the augment to Lavos' other abilities, like, will it affect the cooldown of Transmutation Probe, or will it affect the Subsume ability you have for Lavos? But right now, I'm pretty excited for this new augment since it will add some quality of life improvement to Lavos. Yes, we all know that augments are just band-aid mods, but with my Nuka setup, I have one optional slot and I will try this Lavos augment. Meanwhile, the augment for Trinity will allow you to gain a % bonus on your primary and secondary weapons after using the blessing ability. On refresh, it adds up new value and refreshes the timer. The only thing I am curious about this augment, and kind of reluctant, is that the amount critical chance percentage you gain from it is heavily reliant on the amount you heal your allies. I am also concerned if it will work with healing yourself, or will it be by a party exclusive augment. If it works with Trinity, then I'm hoping that Digital Extremes will let it scale with power strength and have the same bonus as Nida's teaming virulence, since we all know that Trinity has 2 damage reduction, one on her link ability, and then on her blessing. Not to mention that you can add adaptation to make the Warframe tankier. If the critical chance is highly dependent on the amount healed by Trinity, then most likely, we would see a small boost of critical chance bonus. But I'm hoping not, and I'm crossing my fingers on this augment. The last 2 augments are for the broken Warframe, Xaku. One is for their lost ability, and the other one is for their grasp of lock. For the lost ability, it will receive an augment that after casting the ability, it will increase the power strength of the lost by a certain percentage and will stack. Casting the same lost ability twice in a row resets the bonus. Remember that the lost has 3 sub-abilities. Accuse, which will trigger like Nick's mind control. Deny allows you to strike enemies with a void beam. And the best of them all, a gaze, which freezes an enemy in place and weakens other enemies' current maximum shields and armor within range. Of all the sub-abilities, I think the one that will benefit the most from this augment is gaze. Just imagine after casting the gaze ability a couple of times, you will have enough power strength to gain that 100% armor and shield reduction to enemies within the area of the target affected by the gaze ability. If this happens, then we don't need to put blind rage on our build, which gives us more efficiency, and this could mean better utility for the gaze ability. Better yet, it makes the gaze ability a perfect utility for total defense reduction, and mind you, after getting the maximum defense reduction after several casts, you can maintain that for a long period, since your 4th ability allows you to freeze the duration of your other abilities. The next augment for the broken Warframe is intended for survivability, as it makes their grasp of lock able to heal the broken Warframe. When a stolen weapon deals damage to a target affected by an ability of the lost, Xaku heals for health. Now, in my mind, I think Digital Extremes will allow us this augment to have a good tandem with the gaze ability, and they will allow us to heal when we hit those targets affected by the defense reduction. Honestly, this makes the broken Warframe super good, and the HP heal will go along with the tandem of Operator Void Singularity and the Volfapilla's Martyr Symbiosis. This makes the broken Warframe a special frame for long endurance runs, and I am very excited to try it out myself. Now I know this is not the update we expected, but it's certainly a good quality of life improvement update for the game. I look forward to the new augments and the changes to former and mastery rank. Now, what are you excited about on this upcoming update? Let me know in the comments section below, and be sure to tune in on November 11th, as the developer also stated that they will reveal some changes on their unvaulting. I'm sorry if this video will not include the announcement for the Platinum Prize winners, as I haven't picked the winners yet. But rest assured that I will, and include it in my future video. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future.